Hello and welcome back to the channel. Our design team has spent the past couple of months making good progress on the Hornet 1000. We've got a wide range of accessories planned for this brand new bike, and since our introduction video a couple of months ago we've made good progress. So in this video I'm going to show you all of the prototypes we've got so far. There's a lot of physical prototypes that we've got fitted to this bike already. I'm going to show you a load of concept images as well and just kind of update you all on where we are with all of our accessories that we're making for this bike, and of course so we can get your honest feedback on what you think of each bit. So let's waste no time and have a look at where we are with all of our accessories. Let me just remind you all that everything you see today is in progress. A lot of the things you see have already been tweaked slightly. There will be some changes, there will be a lot of tweaks. This is just very early stages, but that's why we're doing this video, to get feedback from you guys and see what you think of each bit that we've made, or at least we're working on so far. As we go through each piece, I will tell you if they've been changed or if it's likely to be the final version or not. We'll go through the physical prototypes that are on the bike first, as there are quite a few of them. We'll start off with the infill panels. So we've got prototype infill panels fitted here. Now this is just a 3D printed panel at the moment. The final thing isn't going to be 3D printed, but that is just how we prototype things. So texture and the colour might seem a little bit funny, but that's because it's 3D printed. So this is the infill panel we've got so far. Very sporty looking, I would say. It's a sporty bike, so that's kind of the direction we tried to go with the infill panels. We weren't sure whether to replace this standard radiator cheek entirely with our infill panel. We weren't really sure what direction to go. What we've opted for here is just an additional panel. It doesn't affect or change the standard radiator cheek that's already on the bike, it just adds to it. We've tried to follow this face back here along with this curvy face here. It really does look quite good. The only thing I will note is that it's a prototype bracket we're using as well. The fitment isn't quite perfect, so we'll have to adjust that and make it sit in a little bit more. So the fitment isn't quite spot on, but the design we think we're fairly happy with. I'll try and give you different angles and photos of each piece. Again, don't mind the texture, it's just 3D printed, but let us know what you think of this infill panel design. Does it suit the bike? Does it not suit the bike? What do you reckon? Now this infill panel is going to be one of the products that we will offer in painted versions, so I'm sure we're going to paint them in red. We'll probably paint them in black as well, and the standard matte black version will kind of look like this. This is our finished black plastic, so the black one won't look like this, it'll look a little bit more like this. It's a nice little textured matte plastic. It should match quite well with the engine and everything that's around it, so that is the type of plastic it will use. But yeah, that's where we are with the infill panels. Do please let us know what you think. Next prototype is the seat cowl. Now, this is what we got so far. It is pretty much just a cover that's basically the same style and shape and design as the pillion seat. However, it goes all the way along to the tail end of the bike. We can see the size of the seat there, and our seat cowl just extends a little bit further over the tail of the bike, and it just looks a little bit more aggressive. We wanted to do something a little bit different than just covering the pillion seat, so we've added that extra pointy bit at the end just to add a bit of style too. And as you may have noticed from underneath, we're going to experiment with a new fitting method as well, which are Velcro straps. That will mean that the seat cowls are even easier to remove if you want to carry a pillion at any point. I can't even get it back on now. There we go. So it's a pretty basic one, this seat cowl. Again, this is just 3D printed, so don't let the texture fool you. It will be a single piece. We've just had to tape it along the middle, so again, ignore that. But this would be a product that we'll offer in just a standard matte black, like the infill panels, and we'll paint these as well. So I'm sure you'll get a nice red matched one, black, whatever colour bike you've got, we'll paint them in that particular colour. So that's our seat cowl. Next prototype we have fitted is the belly pan. Now, straight off the bat, this is just the version 1 belly pan that we've made. Our designer took one quick look at this fitted to the bike and instantly decided he doesn't like it. So we already have a second belly pan version in the works. So to be honest, the one you're looking at on the bike right now is probably not going to make it to production. The feedback we got on a belly pan is, one, they want it to cover the hideous headers, because on this bike, for some reason, the headers are very ugly, very, very ugly. So they want covering. That seemed to be the main ask that we got for the belly pan to do, at least. It will be a 3-piece belly pan, left and right and the center. So I don't have the current second belly pan version to show you in physical form, but I do have some concept images which I'll throw on screen. This is the second revision of the belly pan that we may consider. As I say, the concept that you see on screen right now is much more likely to make it to production than the one that is here on the bike. So if you have any feedback on the belly pan, let us know the feedback based on this one that you see here on screen. We're trying to make it a decent belly pan that's going to protect your headers, protect the underneath of your bike as well from everything the front wheel brings up. But being a belly pan, it's probably going to be a relatively big project. So that's the belly pan, on to the next thing. Fly screen next. Now this one's been quite tricky, partly because the way that the headlight unit sits and the clocks are quite far up as well. But this is what we've got to so far. Again, it's just a 3D printed prototype. I believe our designer has already made some adjustments to this. I'll flag some images on screen of the slight adjustments he's made. I think he's just added a bit of styling into the left and the right facing, just so it's not quite as plain, as that was the initial thoughts we all had when we first saw this fitted to the bike. And I believe we've managed to change the mounting point areas as well. So this fly screen is very early days. It is not likely to look exactly like this. It's going to be tweaked a little, but again, we'll listen to your guys' feedback as well. If you have any helpful feedback or ideas for this particular fly screen, or even a completely different design, let us know. But this is the direction we're leaning at the moment. Something that goes from the tip all the way up to the clocks, covers that bit quite nicely. This is about, we're going to make 2 fly screens for. We've already got a second version, which I'll show you later on, that I don't have a prototype for, unfortunately. But this first fly screen, this is going to be the one we're going to paint as well. So this will really be available in matte black, like the matte black we saw earlier. And we're going to paint these as well, I'm sure, in red and all the other colours. So this will be a painted product, but it'll look something like this. That's the fly screen. Extender Extra, really easy product. You know what an extender fender is, it extends your guard. Our extender fender Extra does the exact same thing, even longer, using some brackets that attach to the calipers. So this is the final plastic piece. We've just got the prototype brackets, which will be in black for the final thing. So that's pretty much what the extender fender Extra is going to look like, with black brackets. I don't really need to tell you much more about an extender fender. You know what it does. Next prototype we've got on here, handguards. Now the handguard plastics are the same handguard plastics we use for our other handguards. All we've got on here that's a prototype is the brackets. Obviously for each bike we need to make bespoke brackets for that particular bike, and we've got the Hornet ones ready already. Obviously for the final thing the brackets will be black, but these are just the prototype brackets. They fit fine, they look fine, so I think the handguards have the go ahead. Very simple product. I don't really need to tell you much about handguards, do I? Hugger extension. Now a hugger extension is basically an extension for the rear guard. Just like an extender fender extends the front, the hugger extension extends the rear. We've got one prototyped already. We've actually added a bit of design into this one to kind of follow the design of the OEM hugger. It's really simple. This is likely to be the final thing. I don't think this needs any adjustments. So if you're looking for a hugger extension, we have one in the works, and that is what it will look like. Next prototype, frontal wing. Now this one's been quite tricky, as when it comes to a frontal wing, there's so many different designs and shapes and styles that you could do. We've opted for something like this. Now this is just the first prototype. I can confirm there has already been some adjustments to this, so this isn't completely final. There has been some adjustments. This middle bit here, we've closed the gap. There is a little bit of a gap at the moment in this first version where you can kind of see through. We've closed that, so that looks a lot more smoother. We've smoothened the edges of the 2 sides there, and we've also changed the tip as well. They're very minor adjustments, and obviously the final thing won't have to be taped in the middle. That's just part of how we have to prototype things sometimes. So that's kind of what our frontal wing's going to look like. Again, we're completely open to any feedback, but we've had good feedback so far, so we think it's all right. That's kind of the direction we're going. This should give you a bit of an idea of what it will look like. Again, remember there are some slight changes to the middle bit and the edges as well, but it's a general idea. Please do let us know your thoughts. Next prototype, radiator guard. Very simple. This is just the unfinished metal at the moment, so we would offer this in a powder coated textured black finish that looks really nice. This is the design we've got so far. Now there has already been some adjustments to this. At the moment there are horizontal lines and the gaps are actually quite small. We know that we don't want to restrict any airflow to the radiator, so what we've done is we've widened the gaps a little bit, and we've actually adjusted the the direction as well. We're not sure which one we're going to go for yet. The horizontal lines like here or the diagonal lines like here I've got on screen now. It will be one of the two. It's still being worked on and there are some adjustments to be made. We'll likely go for the one that makes the most sense cost wise, as if we can keep our costs down, we can keep your guys' costs down. So radiator guard is going to be coming. It's a very simple one, so that shouldn't be too long really. I'm sure you know what a radiator does, so I won't waste your time there. Now the next prototype is kind of related to the radiator, and it is horn guard. Made from aluminium, exactly the same as the radiator guard, and it will be powder coated in a textured matte black, just like the radiator guard, and all it does is it guards your horn. Simple as that. It's got a nice little actual Hornet cutout on the face of the horn, which looks quite good as well. It's a very simple product, but yeah, that's another prototype I can show you there. Next up is our spray guard. Now this is a spray guard that we actually try to make fit a lot of different bikes. What we do have to of course do is make a bespoke bracket specifically for whatever bike we want it to fit. So this spray guard is a finished piece. This is a matte black finished piece. However, the bracket is what is at the moment just a prototype. The finished thing will be a nice powder coated bracket, so it'll be nice and black. It'll suit the bike very nicely, and we'll have a number of different caps available. I think gloss black, matte black are two options. And a spray guard does what it says on the tin. It will guard a lot of spray that your rear wheel will flick up, and it will stop it from touching your number plate, your back, your tail tidy, your under tray and all that. So I'm sure you know what a spray guard does. We're working on one for the Hornet, just trying to finalise that bracket, that's all. Shock shield, very simple. It's a shield that protects your shock. What we've done is we've got a nice little bracket that goes from behind the rear foot peg mounting points, and it just attaches with a little flap and just protects your shock really, and all the stuff that's under there from what the rear will fling up. Now this will work very nicely in conjunction with our hugger extension, with a spray guard, anything else that just stops the rear wheel stuff from hitting your bike. The shock shield will contribute to that. Now, I don't think the flap is final just yet. We are in the process of making a completely different type of flap. So the shock shield itself is happening and it will be mounted there, but we're not sure if we'll be using this flap yet or our newer flap that is still in the works. But nevertheless, a shock shield will be something that we have available. So I think I covered there all of the prototypes that we have for this bike. Now there are lots of things that we only have concepts of. I'll show you them now. I did mention earlier that we're going to have a second fly screen option for the Hornet, and one of them will be a metal fly screen. This is what we've got designed so far. It's just a different style, a different option, and I said this one will be metal rather than plastic like this one will be. We like to try metal things sometimes, as not only is it a different style, it's a different finish, and it also gives it a bit of a different look as well. So I don't have any physical prototypes of that to show you, but I do have the renders on screen to kind of reference to show you what it should look something like. So yeah, a second fly screen will also be available for the Hornet, and it may look something like this. Another thing that's only in the concept stage is this little tank filler that just says the word Hornet in it. This is purely just an aesthetic upgrade, just looks cool I suppose. Just a little piece that goes on the front of the tank, says Hornet in there. Yeah, it's as simple as that really. It's just a little aesthetic piece. We try to experiment on each bike with a few different aesthetic pieces alongside all of the normal stuff we do, like the panels and stuff. Like to try little trick bits sometimes, so we've got them in the works as well. I don't really know what we're going to call them, but you can see on screen what they are. And the final concept to show you are our tank wings. Now again, no physical prototype to show you, but it will sit somewhere along the side of the bike here, and I'll show you the concept images that we've got so far. Now the tank wings that you see on screen is something that's gone through several different revisions already, so that isn't completely final. We will listen to feedback if we get any on it. It's likely the wings will only be a 3D printed product rather than plastic, and we'll offer them in just a basic matte black. So that is the third and final concept I think I have to show you of the Hornet accessories that we've got. Now there are even more accessories that we're working on for this bike. I've just shown you everything today that we either have a prototype for or a concept. I know that we are working on a rear splash plate. We're working on blanking blocks if you want to get rid of your rear foot pegs. We're working on brake duct coolers, and we're also working on metal rear infill panels. There is more than that as well. It doesn't just end there. Now you'll see things release over the coming months. There's only a very few amount of things that are released today. I think today the tail tidy is available for this bike. The extender fender is available for this bike, and we've also got a few decal sets are available as well. But other than that, everything else is in the works. Some things are closer than others, but we'll get there eventually. Reminder once again, everything you've seen today are just prototypes, very early stages. We want to hear your guys' feedback and keep you involved as well with the process. Please leave a like if you've enjoyed. We're going to be keen to keep an eye on all the comments so we can see what you guys think of all these plans, and we'll see you all later.